Hi, everyone. We're beginning the Buyers and Sellers Show. This is the pre-show. Gives everybody a chance to get on. Today, it's going to be about going live, what's involved there. I'm just going to do some teaching there and talk about that. At the same time, I want you to jump in with comments, suggestions, questions, anything you have. This is like a free day, and I'll be happy to give you ideas and thoughts on whatever's on your mind as well. So join me. 10:35 is when we'll kick it off. Hello, everybody. Get on board. Here we are at the Buyers and Sellers Show. Everybody, thank you for getting on. Here we go. And we're live. I'm Jay Skinner, and you're on the Buyers and Sellers Show. We're here every Friday morning at 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm so glad you came. On this show, and we're pushing 3 years now of consistent broadcasts every Friday morning. They all pile up on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. It's been just a great ride. And I have to say that going live has been really wonderful for me personally and from a business perspective, because what happens when I have a prospect or somebody I'm trying to deal with as the CEO extender, or I'm working with someone in the plastic pallet world, or who knows what, many times I will have a show that I did on a particular topic and can say, here, just check this out, and it'll help you know exactly what I think, how I feel, and how it all works, how I do what I do. So it becomes like a living resume. And I would like to show you right now the great value of this by turning on my my YouTube channel. At the same time, I got to make sure that I don't accidentally turn on the show at the same time, because it'll make a lot of noise. But let's just slip this in here. I want you to see the screen. If you go to @Jay Skinner, @JAY Skinner, then you'll have a chance to see, me and what I do. And I'm going to go right here, Jay Skinner, Buyers and Sellers Show, share. There we go. And it should bring up that tab. Let's see what happens. There we go. It's thinking. Anyway, while we're looking at that, looks like I might have gone into a freeze mode. I don't know. There we go. But disconnect that. There we go. The screen sharing is canceled. There we go. I want you to go to YouTube at Jay Skinner and check that out, because you can see I have a playlist for all the shows for all time, and you can see the topics, and it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting, and it will help you know what my topics are. Now, one of the things that I always tell people is, whatever it is your profession is, make sure you're doing it for yourself. And that's the green rule. And that means do for yourself what you're asking others to pay you to do for them. Makes sense, doesn't it? And then there's the silver rule, and that's do unto your vendors how you want your customers to do unto you. And I want you to think about that. If your customers aren't treating you right, I want you to think for a minute, how do you treat your vendors? And maybe you'll find some correlation there. Now, they don't know about it, but it's just weird how that works. Now, another thing I want to do for sure under comments right here, because you're coming online. I know a number of people are getting online here live. You just comment right here. I'm going to put in my my own website, www.thejskinner.com. There you go. I'm gonna hit this, and with this, oops, let's try that again. That did not hit the right spot. That's not the right link. Let's try that again. https:// www.thejskinner.com, and I got to make sure that's properly there, and then I hit go. Good. Now watch this pop up on your screen. This is the right one, and what you can see is that's the area where you can comment live, and we'll talk back and forth, and it'll be great. And let's see, Sharon Monroe, thank you so much for showing up, Sharon. This is fantastic. I see your thumbs up, and I want to encourage you, if you have any comments or questions, please type them in. So that'll be great. The silver rule is do unto your vendors how you want, your customers to do unto you. And today we're going to talk about go live. And again, jump in here. It's open topic day. But go live means doing what I'm doing right here. And I've done it for almost 3 years consistently. And it's been very valuable to me in my CEO extender business, especially because I talk to people and they can kind of check me out online. And this becomes like a living resume. The other thing is, I was encouraged by my friend Jeffrey Gitomer, and he's called King of Sales, and I want you to get to know him. Here's one of his books right here, Go Live. And this is the book that I used as kind of a primer on what to do. And it's got incredible information in it that was very valuable to me 3 years ago when I decided to do this. And Jeffrey's been a real supporter and a fan and a friend over the last few years as we went through the COVID mess and everything else. And we got to be friends. And here's something that was kind of cool. We always like to come up with quotes. And I had a quote one time, and he kind of liked it. He liked it very much. And he said, Skinner, that's pretty good. Listen to what Jeffrey had to say.
Positive. Yeah, you don't have a revenue problem. You have a don't know how to sell problem. I agree. I totally agree. That is a great line, Skinner. I mean, I sent it to one of my customers yesterday. It absolutely loved it. Yeah, this is good. I'm sending it to myself. I'm giving 2 seminars this week. It will be credited to you in both seminars. So if somebody calls and said, somebody said this, it was me.
How about that? And that's Jeffrey Gitomer. He's also the author of The Little Red Book of Selling and about 17 other bestsellers, and really bestsellers over the last 25, 30 years. He's truly the king of sales. So get to know Jeffrey Gitomer, and I'm thankful to him and his wife, Jennifer, for encouraging me and helping me get this thing going. So what it served me as, like I said, is like a living resume, someplace to point people to particular topics that are important to me. And I'm going to check here and see if I can share the screen now. Just we'll give it a try, and if it does, great. If not, I'll forget the idea. But we're going to give it a try. Let's see if the screen comes up now. There we go. Let's see. Put it up, because I want you to see, just by going to the internet, how beautiful it is when you've got a show going. And I'm going to go right over here to I've got both playlist and podcast. It's the same thing. And I literally can go to podcast here and then say view full podcast. And then what happens is there's 161 episodes in there. That's more than every Friday, because I've done some other special things that I've put into here for people to look. But see how cool it is? And I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. But when you go in here, you can actually look at the topics of the shows. It gives you titles and it helps you understand who I'm talking to, what some of the topics are. And you see that sometimes I go by on my own. Other times I'll have guests. And I just want to recommend you really need to let this all pile up when you go live, and make sure that you organize it so that you can reference it later. So that's what I wanted to show you there, the value and the importance of having your YouTube channel set up like that. Anyway, looks like we got some comments here. I want to see who's online. And Sharon, good morning. And my niece Sharon says good morning. Good morning, Uncle Jay. Happy birthday. And Sharon, thank you very much. Sharon goes live every single day and has for have you still got the streak going, Sharon, for your business? And thank you for the happy birthday greeting. And how long have you been going, Sharon? Please let us know. And there's John Godwin. Oh, he's a great videographer, a friend, and certainly knows about Jeffrey Gitomer. Worked for him for years, helping him do things back when they were pioneers in the industry of using video for sales, selling, teaching, that sort of thing. And John was on board with that with Jeffrey years ago, and really on the cutting edge. Good morning, John. Thanks for coming. So when you're going live, like I do, some of the things that are important and things to think about, I've got listed here. It's 10 pieces. So take a look at this as I go through them and see what you think. Number one, when you're doing this, pretend you're on a TV show. Pretend you're doing a TV show. In fact, every time you are on a Zoom call or GoToMeeting or something in a conference call with business working remotely, pretend that you're on a real show, that you're there to be and look interesting, and go online looking good, at least from the top up. Where whatever they're seeing, and if it's only if it's only this part here that's all dressed, don't stand up and go anywhere. Okay, but pretend you're on a TV show, have fun of it, and be serious about it, not nervous. Just be serious and make sure you pay attention to those details. And some of those details include this: framing and lights. Now look at the screen right here where I am. There's the camera. Okay, right there. And look at the framing. My head is right there, almost to the top. Some people even frame like this. I like just a little bit of headroom, not much. And then I'm right in there. See how this works? I can go left and right, be aware of what my situation looks like, where I am in the screen. But if you look at television, you won't see people framed like this. Except for, amateurs, people that don't know what they're doing. This framing right here is really not right. It smacks of somebody that's not got particularly high technology savvy. And they certainly have some problems with self-awareness, and you see it everywhere. Look at yourself on the screen and make sure you're seeing the stuff you want to see, and you're not looking at the stuff you don't want to see. Okay? Now, it's a big deal. I promise you, if you're on a show with somebody on a Zoom call or something, you frame it right and look good like this. Put your laptop up on a stand or something so that you get straight ahead and you're not looking at the ceiling. It'll be great. See what we got here. And John's smiling and laughing about the things I talk about because he's been living this life of how to frame video and what to do all his life. That's what he does. That's the truth. So here comes another one. Lights. We talked about framing and lights. I showed you framing, but one of the things that I believe is a real misnomer is you don't need a circle light with bright lights on you necessarily. Unless you're just gorgeous and perfect in every way, a lower lighting adjustment may be better for you. And what I've got is I just have a regular incandescent light in a stand over here pointing to the wall, and I'm just receiving some reflection off of that to give me just a little bit of light. And it's adjustable. You can see when I adjust it, I get different. There, look at that. There you go. Right. But I can adjust it, how bright it is and what it does. And then the other thing is a lot of time your camera inside your computer has automatic adjustments too, and you need to be aware of how that's going to affect things. And one of the things I was going to show you is if you have something that's like black, for instance. So if you show up with a black shirt, it's going to change the exposure. You can see my face got lighter there by putting black on here. And if I had a big black shirt on, it would change the automatic exposures. So just be aware of that sort of stuff and look at yourself in the camera and make sure you look good. Now, let's see some additional comments. Sharon says, look at that. Sharon just told me 1,448 consecutive live broadcasts for her business. And that is fantastic, Sharon. Congratulations. And I was going to put her website in here. The Sharon, Hoffmeister, HOFMeister.com, thesharonhoffmeister.com. Go to her website, see what she does. You're going to love it. The jewelry, the makeup, the other items, the bath bombs, and it's like open up oysters and find pearls. It's great. So get to know Sharon, and I recommend that you go find her there on our website. So as we keep going here, so what's the next thing? The lights. Just understand that you can live with. If you notice now, my complexion is a little less red and more, flesh tone. It just has to do with how the lights work. And the other part is that I don't necessarily need to show every crinkle and crease and wrinkle and everything inside my face, which is what I would get if I had this big direct ring light going on here. I think a more subdued lighting is nice and it's comfortable. And it probably takes about 10 years off my life. Anyway, what next? Use a streaming software designed for this, like StreamYard.com. And all these features that you see here, the things that I'm doing, are built into StreamYard, so I can load them up and then use them. And so while I'm on my shows, all this cool stuff is happening. Now, here, take a look at this. This is a video clip that I just put right up. And can you do that? Can you stand to have some silence in your conversations with people to allow folks some room to think about it and respond? You may have to practice that. Can you ask someone a question and then just be quiet without giving them multiple choices of answers they might want to come up with, and let them come up with it? How about that? You can do some fun things here, can't you? So StreamYard. Now, StreamYard has a free version. It'll get you started. And I do a paid version because I want to put in a lot of social medias. And I have 2 channels in Facebook, one in LinkedIn, one in YouTube. Twitter, and Twitch all going at the same time. So you pay for the ability to do some of that, but you just jump in there and try it, and you can pay monthly or you can pay annually. So you can try it out however you want, but without a streaming software like this that allows you to connect how you need to connect and do the things you need to do, it gets difficult. So let me suggest that you got to use StreamYard or something like it in order to go live. Now, what's the next one? Look at the lens, not the screen. I'm going to give you an example here. Take a drink of coffee. And when you're on a show and you got like a Zoom call or something like this with business, when you're on a show, you want to look down here at the pictures of the people in the thing while you're talking. You're looking at them and talking. And now I'm pretending I'm doing that right now. I'm looking at the picture where people would be and talking. But now look at the difference. I'm going to switch right now to looking at the lens. Right there. I'm going to look at the lens and talk. See the difference when I'm looking right at the lens? I got a little arrow there to remind me to look at that, because when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at you, and it's far more intimate. It's far more personal, and it feels unnatural. But when you're broadcasting, whatever you're doing, the more times that you can look at that, the better you're going to be in terms of connecting with your audience. Okay. So there you go. Look at the lens, not the screen. And John's saying right here, he says, I prefer 3200K light to the 5600K. And I'm going to guess the 3200 is probably a lower light type situation. And exactly. And you can adjust that. So everybody, I want you to look at your picture when you turn on the lights. And if you don't love it, adjust some things and get used to it. Know how your camera works and what it looks like. No different than what you would do if you're getting up in the morning and you were getting dressed and looking in the mirror. That's what you have to do. So I want you to do that for sure. Now, here's another one. Smile, be happy, be unique. Now, one of the things that when I have people on my show, when we're doing a wrap up or they want to be on my show, they always mention the opener where I jump in there and, I've done something like this. How about that? Now, how fun is that? And it's just fun to get on there and play and get at the beginning. I don't know what you do that's special and fun and a little entertaining and makes people laugh, but do some of that. Be you. This background, how I operate and everything, people have said it's unique. It's you. Go with it. And I would encourage you to do the same thing with yourself. And I can promise you, Sharon does the same thing that's been on more times than I have. And later on this year, it might be this month or next month, she's going to be on my show. And we're going to do a special broadcast edition on a Sunday. And it'll be in support of her business and her group. And you all are going to be invited as part of it too. It'll be a blast. Okay. So be you, unique. Smile. Be happy. Now, sometimes it's just not natural. You're not a natural smiler. Well, fix that. Work on it. Look in the mirror. Get so you can smile, because it makes people feel better if they see you smile. It's like, just do it. Here we go. Be prepared with banners, pictures, videos, and logos. That's another thing is that makes all the difference in this live show, is because when I show up and I have guests, I get their logos. I will try to find some clips that are about them, and or some pictures. Look at this. Like, here's a picture. Oh, there's my friend. And you put them up, and it's part of your conversation. There was Lee Sauls. He was on the show a while back. How about this? Someone's got a book. Put their book up. and show it. Do the prep work ahead of the broadcast when you're working with someone or even for yourself so that it's like it's got an outline. It has some method. You're not just bouncing around all over creation and you're actually putting on a show that people want to see. Now, have a pre-show session for people when you have guests. You want to make sure that they're set up right. Believe me, everybody that's been doing this forever, and I will tell you, I run into some people that do shows regularly, and it's like they don't all have this down. And so you coach them and you make sure they're framed right, make sure they have speed. That's a big deal. Is be sure you know how to go to speedtest.net, and check it, go and make sure you've got adequate internet going up and down. And you can even ask them if it's not looking right, say, are you plugged in or how are you hooked up to the internet? And make sure that everybody's got a decent signal. That's the good news. The bad news is you do all the work and get it just right, hit live, and the next thing you know, everything goes to pot. You just do the best you can. Sometimes the internet signal goes down, upload goes out the window, and you have this latency, and it's very difficult. And you've seen this on a couple of my shows. It's happened. You just plow through it, do the best you can, reduce the drag by programs that are running on your computer. But be sure and have an outline session too. If you go into a conversation with someone who says, oh, I do this all the time, I'll say, well, you haven't done it with me. We're going to outline this thing and have some idea where we're going to go. And then we're going to drive it with banners just like this, just like what we do here. This helps keep us on track and will help keep you on track too when you're doing your go live session. So save your shows in a playlist and the files in your hard drive or cloud for repurposing and replays. That's what this is all about right here, where you see the playlist in my YouTube. So every time I go online, now there we are live. That's us live right now. But as soon as I'm on one of these shows, and I'll take this one as a for instance, you go right to this area here. It'll say probably. Save right there. When you go save, then you can play this religiously, and then everything will be all set up here and tags. So there we go. Bam. Now, preparation, getting things done. Now I can see on my thing right now that my signal just went down on the internet. I have no control over that. I am plugged in with wires. I got the best I can do. Now it's just came back. So it's real possible that you experienced a little lag here. Not a thing we can do about that right now. But you can do something. And that's what I want to encourage you to do is start now. Do something. You listen to this, and if you thought to yourself, man, one of these days I'm going to go live. Well, the best way is to just start right now and go live. I want to see if I happen to have a clip from my first show. I don't know if I do or not. I'll show one of those one day. I'm looking through here, and I actually, when I first got started, the first show or two, I didn't have StreamYard, which I fixed that real quick. But there's a big world of difference between Jay today and Jay 2.5 years ago going live. And I've been a performer and in business and talked to people all my life, but this is a different world. And the only way you're going to get good at it is by just doing something now. There's my friend Greg Sneed. He's been on the show before. How you doing, Gregory? Thank you, and happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming by. The Greg goes live, and part of this program, as we're talking about this, is get going and do something. And then when you're done with the show, watch it, watch every show, and ask for feedback from your guests, especially the guests that do this all the time. And they've experienced a lot of people that have interviewed them, and they know what they like and what they don't like. And all I can say is that if you let them know you're big boy, girl, you can take it, help me be better, people will share it with you if they know they can do it and it's not a negative thing. In fact, they appreciate it and will really honor you and what you do. Well, one example was when I had Jim Cathcart, who's a Hall of Fame speaker, a pioneer in the industry of sales and marketing videos and audios. And I mean, he has a story that's out of this world, and was introduced to me by my friend um, Dr. Tony Alessandra, who wrote the Platinum Rule, which is do unto others as they want to be done unto. And he's also wrote non-manipulative selling techniques. Well, Jim Cathcart is famous for relationship selling, and that he worked with Earl Nightingale. I mean, I can just drop names all day long. And it was Jim who, in the last few months, had introduced me to a lot of his friends. And I went to the National Speakers Association, introduced me to a lot of his friends who now ended up being on my show here. And it's been great. And it's a lot of fun. And I meet some really cool people and I learn a lot. And hopefully you do too. Anyway, here's an example of I asked Jim to do a video using my dub video format about his experience on my show, because he was really noticing it. And see, I can upload it and you get a real good quality. Look at this for a 46-second video from my friend Jim Cathcart.
Hey Jay, it's Jim Cathcart. I had a
Whoops, try that again. I hit the button. Try again.
Hey Jay, it's Jim Cathcart. I had a wonderful time doing that video interview with you. You know, I do, I don't know, 2, sometimes 3 podcasts and interviews, video interviews by Zoom and other media every month, and sometimes every week. And I got to tell you, out of all of the hundreds that I've done over the years, I would put you in probably the top 3 of the best organized, most helpful and supportive, and most enjoyable interviewers that I've ever dealt with. So thank you for that. It's fun connecting with you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Man, is it ever fun to have somebody like him say nice things about you? Is that cool or what? So I love it that people have jumped in here and says, what happened to the world map? Is it out of this world? Good question. And the question is I'm selling my house and we've got everything bare bones down to making it good for people to walk through and see. And I like the map, and I was thinking of some sort of a backdrop or something that I'm going to put back up there. But so I just kind of, everything got stripped down here recently so that we can do showings and that sort of thing. And so then it comes down to my studio in my office. And I had a special request from my wife to take some of that background down and make the room look a little cleaner. And so that's what you're getting here is you're getting the sanitized view. Good. Thanks for asking. Glad you noticed it. Yeah, that map, I would say that's my territory. That's right. So everyone, it's been so nice having you here. You made comments. Now just remember, if you make a comment and it's like I end the show and I don't say anything, it's probably because there's anywhere from a 10 to 20 second delay from the time you comment till I see it. And so sometimes I'm into the end of the show and it's over before I see your comments, but you make this show. And I'm so thankful for you, for everyone that shows up live. And then those of you that are watching the replay, thank you for coming too. And then put in your comments, like, subscribe, do all that. It's very important to me. And at the same time, please don't hesitate to call me directly and ask me a question. Or if you have someone in mind for me that we might be able to work together, like as a CEO extender to help them, don't hesitate. Give them my name, my number, my website. And then you just have an idea or a thought, just give me a call. Send me an email. Love to be your friend. And then my Calendly is also available, and you can sure get on there and schedule a time on my calendar if you want some time with me one-on-one. And at the same time, when you type in, make a little indication of what you have in mind. And it'll be great. And let's see, guys, additional comments. And then he said, Greg says, I'm so glad we had this time together. I am too, Greg. It's so nice we had this time together. That is exactly right. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to sign off now. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And we're going to go back to that polka. It happens to be one of my favorites. Let's see if you can get it going. Here we go, everybody. Yeah. See you next Friday. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day. Bye now.